Okay, hello everyone. I am Naitik Shah, a student of Professor Shiyong Lu's database management course from Wayne State University. So this is exercise 4, which I the exercise 4 pointers which I need to follow. So download and install the IDE Eclipse IDE, which I already did in the DBMS exercise number 1 video. And I have my Eclipse running over here, and then download and install the Tomcat 9, which was already done in exercise number 1. And in order to initialize that, so you just go to the Tomcat folder where you have it stored, and you just select startup.bat, run startup.bat, as you can see over here. And if you have downloaded it in the Windows C directory, then it might ask you that, hey, I don't have any permissions. So what you do is, I use terminal, which is already in the Windows Store. So, and you just right click and run as administrator, and you will have this over here, administrator and command prompt. You can even use CMD and right click and run administrator. Okay, so I did start it and then I shut down it because Eclipse will run it on its own. I mean, we need to select that option. But yeah, if you have this running over here, and then if you just select that, hey Eclipse, just run this file on the server, then it will throw an error that, hey, this port is being used, so please shut down any programs that are using this port. So yeah, this is done. And then the servers bar, so yeah, here I have my server Tomcat 9.0 server at localhost configs. This is the localhost, and then downloading the code for exercise 4. So this is the link where the code for basically all of the exercises are over here. And so what I did was I just imported the package. So what I did was I downloaded the code to the Eclipse workspace, and then I just selected import, and I selected projects from file system or archive, and then I just selected the database master database link. So I'm not gonna do that because, as you can see, I've already done that. And then if I select my workbench, yes, okay, I must do this. Okay, password is correct. So these are the users which I have currently. So this is John. He has been with me since exercise 1, and so this is the password, and which I have to change on the peopledao.java. So in my case it's John, and the password is John123. And furthermore, so before that, you just need to run people list.jsp. So how do you run that? So you just right click and run as, and run on server, and then you click this, and this, as you can see, it's already been started, so I won't be stopping that. And then you just click finish. In your case it should be stopped, it should be given stopped, and so it will just automatically turn it on, and then it will run. So just cancel it, and here it is running. And yeah, one more important thing, in the DBMS exercise number 3, I have a table. I created a table, and which is this one. And if you don't have any table, or if you have not done the DBMS exercise number 3, then it won't show you up. I mean, there won't be any table. And so the peopledao.java file, so this code is a Java servlet that provides function for accessing and manipulating data stored in a database. As I said earlier, this is our database, and so it is using a Java database connectivity API to connect or interact with the MySQL database named testdb. This might be different for you, but in my case it was testdb. And then what it does is the class people DAO has the class people DO. What it does is it establishes a connection or to the database. So connect underscore function. So this establishes the connection to the database, and it loads the MySQL driver class and creates a connection using the driver manager class with the given URL and credentials. So this is our given URL and this is our credentials. And then the list all people function, which is this one. So this function will retrieve all of the and data from the student table and store it in a list of people. So it uses a select statement to get the data. So it uses the select statement to get the data, and then the statement interface to execute the query, and the result set object is then used to extract data and create people objects that are added to the list. Okay, and then the insert. So what it does is this function inserts a new record into the student table, and it uses a prepared statement to insert the data and the execute the update method to execute the statement. The function returns a boolean indicating whether the insertion was successful or not. And then the delete. So what it basically does is it's like the insert, just it's in delete, and it again gives output in a boolean stating that hey, whether the deletion was successful or not. And then the update function. So what this does is that it updates an existing record in the student table. So it uses a prepared statement with an update statement to update the record and the execute update to execute statement, and this function again returns a boolean indicating whether the update was successful or not. And then the get people. So what it does is that it retrieves a single record from the student table based on the ID. It uses a select statement to get the data and prepared statement interface to execute the query. The result set object is then used to extract the data and create a people object. So that's done, and this is the web XML file. And so going towards the control servlet flight, servlet Java file. Okay, so this code is a Java servlet and which acts as a controller for web application. So it is responsible for handling the HTTP requests and responses, and this servlet is responsible. So basically, the servlet is responsible for carrying out the appropriate actions based on the request URL, such as displaying the list of people, inserting new people, updating existing people, and deleting the people. So this servlet is using the people DAO file to execute the database operations related to people, and as I explained earlier, such as listing all people, getting a specific person, inserting new people, and updating the existing people or deleting people. The servlet has methods handling different actions specified by the URL, such as the list action, the new action, the insert action, the delete, the edit, and the update. And each action corresponds to a specific function, such as displaying a list of people, showing a form of inserting a new person, updating an existing person, or deleting a person. So this is our inserting new people form. This is the editing new people form. The editing people form. And then additionally, the servlet. So it uses the request dispatcher class to forward the request to a specific Java server page. So as I told earlier, this will request to the insert people form or else the edit people form, depending upon the function we want to carry out. So let's say I want to add a new person, and let's say I just add my name and some random label and status. I'm a junior, so I'll just put junior and save. So as you can see, it was saved. And so this is the people list.jsp. What it does is that it just basically lists the table. So as you can see, this is where we are currently, and the URL states that /list, which means that this JSP file was called upon, and this is a basically an HTML file inside. This is a HTML file. So that's a Java server page. If you want some technical term, and that's what the .jsp means. So it's a Java based template language used to generate dynamic web pages. So this is our dynamic web page, and let's see, sorry, yeah, it's a dynamic page. As you can see, the data is shifting itself around as I am reducing a slash, increasing the web page size. And let's go to Eclipse, yeah. And then that's the table head ID, name, address, status and action. So ID, name, address, status and action, that's our table heads. And then over here the values inputted via this people.id, people.name, people.address and people.status. Yeah, these are the values we want from the database. We don't want these values, and these are just action buttons and not some values which are stored in the database. And here we create two links, edit and delete. So as you can see, hyperlinks, which means you can edit / delete. So let's say I want to add a new person. So as you can see, the new was the list got removed, and then we have /new. So what does this mean? So now as soon as we click that, this is what we were taken to: insert people form, and this is the new, add new people, and over here the division align center. So we want this to be in the center of the page rather than be in the left corner, bottom corner, right corner, upper right corner, etc. So that's why we have this. And then this is the caption, add a new people now. So yeah, this is add a new people now. And then these are basically just for adding the person. And as you can see, this is the form type. So this is a type of form. This is a type of form, as you might know when we log into Google. So let's say I log into Google and I add another account. This is basically a form where you input data and then you can just see some data. And so let's say I again put my data in here and save. So now I have two same data, but now what I want to do is I just want to delete this because it's basically same. What's the point? It is just increasing the space. So I shall just delete it, and it got deleted. So as soon as I selected delete, the boolean, as you can see, so delete boolean was correct. So which means that it ran successfully rather than throwing in an error. If the deletion was unsuccessful, then it would have thrown me an error, but right now it was successful. And so I shall go over here and and if I want to edit Mr. Nilesh, so yeah, as you can see over here, I selected this edit and ID 2. So wait, I'll just list the people, and over here as you can see, this is the ID. So now how if we select this action edit, and how would the code know that hey, I need to edit the id2 and not the id4? So this is where it came into. As you can see, this link states that edit and then id2, which means that I want to edit the id number corresponding to 2, the data corresponding to the id number 2 in my table. And so let's see if I just promote it to senior, and as you can see, the senior, so it got changed. And yeah, and yes, this is the edit table. Okay, so let me just explain the people.java file. I just forgot about explaining that. Okay, so this code defines a Java named people, Java class named people, and it represents a blueprint, as you may say, for creating objects such as instance. I mean, that is instance in this case. So we basically have four IDs, four instances: ID, name, address, and status. And in this, the class has four constructors, out of which each of which creates an instance of the people class with a different combination of initial values for the instance variables. So the first constructor, public people, creates an instance of the class with default values for all instances. As you can see, we opened the curly bracket and we just closed it. We didn't add anything. The second constructor, public people and bracket int id. So what it does is that it creates an instance of the class with the specified id value and default values for the other instance variables. And then the third one, so what it does is that it creates an instance of the class with the specified id, name, address, and status values, and it calls another constructor, which is the public people string name, string address, string status. And then the fourth constructor, which is the public people string name, string address, string status, creates an instance with specified name, address, and status values and default values for the id value. This class basically has four getter methods, and each of which it returns the value of one of the instance variables. So public int get id returns the id value, public string get name returns the name value, and then the public string address get address returns the address value, and basically the same for the status value. And then the class has also four setters, which are over here, yeah. So which are the public void set id, int id sets the id value, and then public void set name, so it sets the name value, public void set address, it sets the address value, and public void set status, and so it sets the status value.